Good evening, all of you. So, in day 6, we are going to discuss about different types of data types in Python, and after that, we are going to discuss about type conversion in Python. So, in day 6, we are discussing about type conversion. So, that is converting one data type into another data type is called as a type conversion. So the type conversion in Python is classified into two types. So that is a implicit and explicit type conversion. So if the conversion will be done automatically, it is called as a implicit, and if the conversion is done manually, then it is called as a explicit, and followed by examples we are discussing the day 6. So now it is day 7. We will going to discuss in this class about Python decision making statements. So we will going to discuss today class about Python decision making statements or Python conditional statements. So what is in other programming language like C programming, we will use a simple if statement, if else statement, if else if ladder statements, and nested if statements or switch case statements. So you are going to use it in C programming. So uh, whereas in Python you don't have a switch case, but you have a simple if statements, if else, and if else if ladder conditions. So whereas in Python you don't have a switch case statements. So we'll see one by one in Python. So what is the if condition? Simple if condition. So the if statement is used to test a particular condition. So by using a if condition, it will go on to test particular condition. So if that condition is true, then it will go and execute the block of the code. So in a simple if statement, it will go on to test whether the condition is true or false. If the condition is true, then it will go and execute the block of code. If the condition is false, then it does not going to execute anything. So for example, condition, so if condition, so if the condition is true, then it will go and execute the block of code, and if the condition is false, it will be simply stop the process. So that means it has not going to print anything. So the syntax of a simple if statement is if condition followed by colon and followed by statements. So this is an example for simple if condition. So let us execute this code in Jupyter Notebook. So simple if condition. So this is an example for simple if condition. So number is equal to input int function and followed by input function. Enter the number. So if number percentile 2 is equal to 0, then it will go and print number is an even number. So otherwise it does not go and print anything. For example, let us run this code. So enter the number, it is a even number. So I enter the number is 2. So then it will go and print a even number. So for example, if I enter the odd number, so that is a number is a 5. So then it has not going to execute anything. So it will simply stop the process. So that is called simple if statement. If the condition is true, then only it will go and execute the if condition. Otherwise, it is not going to execute the if condition. So this is example for simple if condition. And second one, now in this example I want to print 3 numbers. Which one is the largest among 3 numbers? So for that I am writing statements. A is equal to int and input function and followed by enter A, and B is equal to int and followed by input function and enter B, and C is equal to input function and followed by enter C. And if A greater than B and A greater than C, colon, and print, it will go and print A is the largest number. If B greater than A and B greater than C, colon, then it will go and print B is the largest number. If C greater than A and C greater than B colon, then it will go and print C is the largest number. So let us execute this code in the Jupyter notebook. So this is a program. So this is a code. So A is equal to int of input function and followed by enter A value, and B is equal to input function and int of input function enter B value, and similarly C is equal to int of input function enter C value. If A greater than B and A greater than C colon, and print A is the largest number. If B greater than A and B greater than C colon, then it will go and print B is the largest number. And if C greater than A and C greater than B colon, then it will go and print C is a largest number. So let us execute this code. So it will go and ask enter the number. I entered 1 and B value 2, and I entered the C value 5. So among A value 1, 2 and 5, A value 1 and B value 2 and C value 3. So the largest number is a C. So C is the largest number. So for example, I will enter A value 5 and B value 2 and C value 1. So in this time I got the largest number among remaining elements or remaining numbers is A is the largest number. So this is a simple if condition. So if condition is satisfied, it will go and execute the statements. Otherwise, it will goes to the another condition, then it will go and execute the statement. So otherwise, if the condition is false, it will goes to the another condition, and it will go and execute the third condition. So that is about a simple if condition. So next one, if else statements. So in previous if condition, it does not have a false statement. So if the condition is true, then only it will go on to execute the block. Otherwise, it does not go and execute anything. So now in this if else statements, if the condition is true, then it will go and execute a true block. It will go and execute a true block. If the condition is false, then it will go and execute a else block. That is a false block. So that is a simple. That is a if else statements, which will be like as a C programming. In C programming also we will do same thing only. So it is a syntax for writing of a if else condition in Python. If condition colon and followed by block of statements, else colon and followed by block of statements. So example, to check whether the person is eligible for vote or not. So age is equal to int of input function and followed by enter age, and if age greater than or equal to 18 colon and print eligible for vote, else colon print sorry you have to wait. So in this example, sorry, so in this example I want to enter the age is 90. So then it will go and get the output is eligible. You are eligible to vote. For example, if I entered age is equal to less than 18, so then it will go and print sorry you have to wait. So it is a simple if else statements. So another program to check whether the given number is even or odd. So if for that I will read the number from the keyboard. So by using input function, I am going to read the number. The number will be stored into the num variable, and if num percentile 2 is equal to 0 colon print number is a even number, else colon print number is a odd number. So in this example I entered the number is 10, then I got the output is even number. If I are entering a number is 5, then it will go on to execute number is a odd number. So for example, so can go to the Jupyter notebook, and this is example for if else. So let us execute. So I want to enter the number is 4. Okay, then I got the output is even number. So for example, I want to execute number is 7. So then I got the output is number is a odd number. So Based on the condition, if the condition is true, then it will go and execute a true block. If the condition is false, then it will go and execute the else block. So that is about a if else. And the next one is else if statements in Python. How we'll going to use else if statements in Python? So first one, if condition 1 colon, and it will go and execute statements. If the first condition is true, then it will go and execute the statements. Else if condition 2 colon, then it will go and execute the statements. Else if condition 3 colon, then it will go and execute the statements. Else colon, and it will go and execute the statements. So it will be looking like as a if else if ladder in C programming. So it will be like as a if else if ladder in C programming. So this is a flowchart diagram for if else else if statement in Python. So that is a first condition. If condition is true, so if the first condition is true, then it will go and execute the statements. So if the condition is false, then it will goes to the second condition, and the second condition is true, then it will go and execute the statement 2, and otherwise it will goes to the, if the condition is false, then it will goes to condition 3. So if the condition is true, then it will go and execute a statement 3. So otherwise it will goes to the next condition. So in this example I am not using any next condition. So it will be looking like as a steps, which will be looking at like as a ladder. So that's why it is called as a if else if ladder. So this is an example for else if statement in Python. So number equal to int of input of enter the number. So if number is equal to 10 colon, then it will go and print number is equal to 10. Else if, so here you have to write ELIF. ELIF stands for else if. So whereas in C programming you have to write ELSEIF if else if. So whereas in Python you have to use ELIF. So that is called else if. So else if number equal to 50 colon, then it will go and print number is equal to 50. Else if number is equal to 100 colon, then it will go and print number is equal to 100. Else, so otherwise if it is not satisfied these three conditions, then it will goes to the else condition, else colon, print number is not equal to 10, 50 or 100. So in this example I entered the number 15. I entered the number is 15. So in this example it is not matching any three conditions. So that's why it will go and execute. So number is not equal to 10, 50 or 100. So if the number equal to 10, it will go and produce the output is number equal to 10. If the number is equal to 50, then it will go and get the output is the number is equal to 50. So if the number is equal to 100, then it will go to get the output is the number is equal to 100. So otherwise it will go and execute a number is not equal to 10, 50 or 100. So that is a simple else if ladder in Python. And it is another example. So marks. So int of input of enter the marks, and what are the marks are entered from the keyboard, that will be stored into the marks variable. So now I am going to check it if so if marks greater than 85 and marks less than or equal to 100 colon, and print congrats, you scored A grade. Otherwise else, so it is a else if ELIF, else if marks greater than 60 and marks less than or equal to 85, then colon, then it will go and print score is B plus. So else if, so another condition, else if marks greater than 40 and marks less than or equal to 60 colon, then it will go to print you scored B grade. And else if marks greater than 30 and marks less than or equal to 40 colon, then it will go and print score is C grade. Otherwise else colon, and followed by print sorry you are failed. So it will be a else if ladder like as a C programming. So if any condition is not satisfied, then it will go and execute the else statements. That is, sorry, you are failed. And this is another example. So actually in Python you don't use a switch case statements, but the switch case implemented in Python using a uh, else if statement in Python. So you don't use a switch case statement like as in C programming or other programming language. So in Python you don't use a switch case. So instead of using a switch case, will be use we have to use the if else or if else if ladder. So for example, in this example, I am writing bike. So bike is equal to Yamaha, and if bike is equal to hero colon, then print bike is hero. Else if bike is equal to Suzuki colon, print bike is Suzuki. Else if bike is equal to Yamaha colon, print bike is Yamaha. So else colon, please choose correct answer. So for example, in this example I already chosen bike is equal to Yamaha. So then it will goes to the this condition, and which will going to print the bike is a Yamaha. So that means in this example, which will going to acting as a this program is going to acting as a switch case like as a in C programming. So actually you don't have a switch case statement in Python, but by using a if else, you can use the switch case in Python. So in this example, my choice is Yamaha. Then it will be directly go to the if bike is equal to Yamaha, then it will go and print bike is Yamaha. So I will show you another example in a notepad. So that is a implementing a switch in Python using else if ladder. So this is example for implementing of a switch case in Python. So in this example, I am using a I am defining a function by using a def keyword. So I am defining a function by using a def keyword. So my function name is def. My function name is a number underscore in underscore word and followed by number. So if number is equal to 1, then it will go and print 1. Else if number is equal to 2 colon, then it will go and print number equal to 2. Else if number is equal to 3 colon, then it will go and print number is 3. Else colon print give input of numbers from 1 to 3. So that means that is a which will be going to like as a switch case. So now I'm going to calling the function. So number in words. So it is a calling function. So in this inside of the calling function, I'm passing a number 3. So then it will goes to this condition. So it will goes to this condition, and it will go and print 3. So the choice is 3. Then it will goes to this condition, and it will go and print 3. So for example, I'm calling another function. So number underscore in underscore word and followed by 4.5. So actually you don't have a number 4.5. So you have only 1, 2, 3 only. But but you are given the number is 4.5. So then it will go and execute else block. So it will go and execute else block, and it will go and produce the output is give input of numbers from 1 to 3 only. So if you are enter the number is 1 2 3, then it will go and print 1 2 3, and if you are enter the number is 4, then it will go and execute else. So that is like as a default statements. So if your choice is 1 2 3, then it will go and print 1 2 3, and if your choice is more than 3, then it will go and execute this line. So that means by using a else if ladder, we'll go and implement the switch in Python. So by using a else if ladder, we are going to implement the switch in Python. So up to now, if you have any doubts, you can post your query in the chat box. So that's all about Python decision making statements or conditional statements. So up to now, if you have any doubts, so please post your query in the chat box. So the chat box will be enabled only for subscribers. So please subscribe the channel. So please subscribe the channel so that you can interact in the YouTube live session. So I requested everyone please subscribe the channel so that we will go and interact with the in a YouTube live session. And if you have any doubts, please post your query in the chat box. So now let us see the next one is loop control statements. So what is a loop? What is a loop control statements? So for example, if you want to execute a particular statement in a number of times or several times, okay, then you can go for loop control statements. So if you want to execute only one time, then you have to go for Python conditional statements. So that means if the condition is true, then it will go and execute true statements. If the condition is false, then it will go and execute false block, but not both true and false statements. So whereas in Python loop control statements, we have to execute these statements repetitively until the condition will become as a false. So for that you have to use a loop control statements in C, C++, Java and other programming languages. So this is a condition. So if the condition is true, then it will going to execute the body of the loop. So this body of the loop is going to execute it until the condition will become as a false. So whenever the condition will become as a false, then it will come out the loop and it will go and stop the process. Otherwise, if the condition is true, then it will go and execute repetitively until the condition will become as a false. So that is about a loop control statements in Python. And coming to advantages of using a loop control statements in Python, so it provides code reusability. So by using these loop control statements, the Python is going to provide code reusability. So without writing the same code again and again, without writing the same code again and again in our Python program, just we have to use the existing code. So that is called as a code reusability. And using loops, we don't need to write the same code again and again. So I said that by using a loop control statements in Python, not only Python, in other programming languages also, you don't need to write the same code again and again. And using a loops, you can travel over the elements of data structures like array, linked list, and so on. So by using a loop control statements, you can traveling from one position to another position and so on. So these are the advantages of using a loop control statements in Python. And this is an example for one of the loop control statements in Python, that is a for loop. So what is a for loop? How will go and write for loop in Python? So you have to use a keyword for and followed by iterating variable and followed by in operator and followed by sequence and followed by colon. So whereas in C programming, you have to use for and followed by initialization semicolon and increment condition semicolon and increment or decrement. So there are three statements you have to use it in C programming, whereas in the Python you have to use the for loop for iterating variable in and followed by sequence. So here in is a membership operator. So in is a membership operator. So whether the iterating variable in the given list or not. If it is yes, then it will go to repetitively execute the statements. So otherwise it will go to terminate the loop control statements. So this is an example. So iterating a string using for loop. So for example, my string is Python. So str is equal to Python. So for I in string, so here I indicate that iterative character. So that is the first character in a given string. So I in str, that is a p. So the first character is p. So that will be substituted in the place of a iterative variable, that is I. So that is p in string. Yes, the p is there in the given string. Then it will go and print I. So I is nothing but it will go and print p. So next character is y. So next character is y. Then the y value will be substituted in the place of I. So y in str. So yes, the y character is there in the str. Then if it is yes, then it will go and print y value. And similarly t, and for t in str, yes, the t character is there in the Python. Then it will go and print t. So next one is h, and h in str. Yes, h is there in str. Then it will go print h, and o in str. Yes, o is there in str. Then it will go print o, and n. So n is there in str. Yes. So then it will go and print n, and there is no characters in the string. So then it will go to terminate the loop control statements. I hope you'll be understanding what I'm saying. So it is a iterating string using a for loop in Python. And another example. So list is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma and so on 10, and n is equal to 5. So for I in list, so what is I here? So the I value will be collected in a list. So what is I here? So it will be collected from list, that is the first element. So for 1 in the list, yes, the 1 is there in the given list. Then it will go and substitute c is equal to n into I. So what is the n value here? So n is equal to 5. So 5 into I value will be 1. So that is equal to 5 into 1. So that is a 5. And this will be stored into the c variable, and I want print the c. Then I got the output is 5. And second one 2. So in the place of I, it will substitute the second element, and 2 in list. So yes, that 2 element is there in the given list. Then it will go and perform c is equal to 5 into 2, that is a 10, and the 10 value will be stored into the c variable, and it will go and print c. Then I got the output is 10. And similarly it will go on to take iterable variable 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 and 10. So c is equal to 10 into 5 into 10. Then I got the output is 50. So that is the output of given list of elements. I hope you will be understanding what I am saying. So for iterative variable in a list, so if the iterative variable there in the list, then it will continue to execute the loop control statements. Otherwise it is not going to, otherwise it will go stop the process. So that is about for in Python. So next one is next example. List is equal to 10 comma 30 comma 23 43 65 and 12, and initially sum is equal to 0. So then for I in list, so what is the I here? So it is a iterable variable. So the iterable variable will be collected from list. So what is the list here? 10. So the 10 in the list, yes, the 10 is there in the given list. So then it will go and perform sum is equal to sum plus I, that is a 0 plus 10. So I got the sum is equal to 10. So next one 30, and the previous sum is 10. So 10 plus 30, so that is a 40, and 23. So previous sum is 40. So 40 plus 23, that is a 63, and 43. So previous output is a 63 plus 43. And similarly it will go and continue to add one by one element. Then I got the sum value will be 183. So that is a for loop. So next one in a for loop you have to use a range function. So I will go to use a range function in Python. So the range function is used to generate the sequence of numbers. So it will be automatically generate the sequence of numbers. If you pass the range of 10, For example, if you pass the range of 10, then it will go and generate the numbers from 0 to 9. I hope you'll be understanding what I am saying. So by using a range function to generate the sequence of numbers, by using a range function, you have to generate the sequence of numbers. For example, if we pass the range of range followed by 10, so the meaning for range followed by 10 is nothing but it will generate the numbers from 0 to 9. So it will go to include 0. So it will be include 0. So 0 to 9. So total number of elements are 10. So example, the syntax for using a range function in Python is range and followed by starting value and stop value and step size. So this is we'll see this syntax in the next slide. So the example is range and followed by 10. Then it will go and generate the numbers from 0 to 9. And for example, if you give a range followed by starting number 1 and comma and ending number is 5 comma and step size is 1. So that means you are going to say that incremented by 1. You are going to say that at the time of iterating it will go and incremented by 1. So that will be called as a step size. So based on that step size, if it is a 1, then it will go and incremented 1. If it is a step size is 2, then it will go and incremented step size will be 2. So for example here, the range of 1 comma 5. So what is the range of 1 comma 5? So that means 1 is included and 5 is excluded. That means we have to include 1, 2, 3 and 4 only. So that means 5 will be excluded. So in Python, start value will be included and stop value will be excluded. So that's why it will go and print the elements from 1 to 4 only. So for example, if I give a range of 10, then it will go and print the numbers from 0 to 9. For example, if we give a like this 1 comma 5, then it will go on to print 1 is included and 5 is excluded. So then I got the output is 1 to 4 only. So that means it will go and perform 1 to 4 iterations only. So this is an example. So for I in a range of 10. So I'm giving here range of 10. So that's why it will go and print the output is from 0, starting number 0 to up to 9 elements. And I want print I comma and is equal to space. So I want print the space between the numbers. So that's why I'm using a end parameter. So end is equal to followed by space. So then I got the output is 0 space, 1 space, 3 space and so on, 9 elements. So that is the meaning for range of 10. Then it will go and print elements from 0 to 9. And the second example, I want to print a table of a given number. So int of input of enter the number. So whatever the number you have to enter from the keyboard, that value will be stored into the n value. And for I in range of 1 comma 11. So that means what is the range of 1 comma 11 elements? So 1 is included and 11 is excluded. So then what are the numbers from 1 to 11? So 11 is excluded. And what are the numbers from before 11? That is a 10. So 1 to 10. We have a numbers from so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so 9 and 10. And 11 will be excluded. So 1 will be included. So that is the meaning for range of 1 comma 11. So that's why here I am taking 1 comma 11. So why? Because 11th is excluded. Then I got the number from 1 to 10. So now C is equal to n into I. So that means whatever the value I want to read from the keyboard, that value will be substituted in the place of n into I. What is I value here? So it will go and collect the first value from the range, that is a 1. So 10 into 1. For example, I am giving a number is 10. So then I got the output is 10 into 1. Okay, 10 into 1 that is equal to 10. So now I am going to write in the form of a table formats. So now I am going to write the table format as n comma. So n comma, that is 10. So 10 comma star. I'm writing in double quotes star, then it will go and print a star, comma, I. So what is I here? 1, comma, is equal to. So I'm writing is equal to in double quotes. So is equal to and followed by C. So what is the C here? I got 10. So 10 into 1 is equal to 10. So for writing of a star and for writing of a equal, I'm writing here in a double quotes. In double quotes I'm writing star and equal. So then I got the output is 10 into 1 is equal to 10, and it will go and take a next element, and 10 into 2 20, and 10 into 3 30, 10 into 4 40, 10 into 5 50, 10 into 6 60, 10 into 7 70, 10 into 8 80, 10 into 9 90, and 10 into 10 100, and the 11th one is excluded. So that's why it will print from numbers from 1 to 10 elements. So any doubts we have? So let us see the next one, range. So in this range I am using a step count. So that is the range will be starting with 2 and end with n, and the step count will be 2. So that means it will go to incremented by 2. So for example, I will read the number is equal to 20. So I am going to read the number from the keyboard 20. So then I will write here for I in range of 2 comma 20. So what is the 2 comma 20? So 2 is included and 20 is excluded. So that means up to you have to take the numbers 19. So that is a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to and so on 19. So these 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on 19. So that step count will be 2. So that means it will go into 2, 4, 6, 9, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 and 18. And it does not go print 20. Why? Because 20 is excluding. So that's why I got the output is the step count is 2. That's why it will go print 2 increments. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 and 18. It has not gone print 20. Why? Because 20 will be excluded. So that is the example for range function. So in this example I am using starting value, ending value and a step count. So that's all about this range function. So I will continue the remaining loop control statements, that is nested loop control statements in the next class. And up to now, if you have any query in the chat box. And that's all about today class. And if you have any query, so please post your query in the chat box. And if you don't have any queries, so that's all about today class. And we'll go and meet in the next session. And have a nice day.